Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In this video, I am going to give you the DSC English 2025 Model Question Paper 2. Therefore, I request all of you to pay a very good attention to this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to consider subscribing to my channel and also sharing this video with all your friends who are also going to take the DSC examination very shortly along with you. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into the video. Grammar and vocabulary. You know pretty well that in this DSC English question paper, from the 41st question onwards, you can find the questions on grammar and vocabulary. Okay, you look at the 41st question of this question paper. 41st question: which of the following is the correct guide word for locating the word resilient in a dictionary? You know very well, this word resilient is there. Resilient means flexible and all that. So where does this word resilient fall in the dictionary? So that is the question, and it is really somewhat very interesting type of question, and in the explanation video I will tell you how to answer this question. Okay, and what are the options given here? See: reason, respond; result, retain; repair, revise; rescue, resort. And you please check, these are the guide words in the dictionary. Guide word means this is the dictionary. So on the top right hand corner there will be a guide word. On the left hand top corner you can find a guide word. So that means the words in these two pages will fall between these two guide words. So here this resilient is there. So where does this resilient fall? Okay, where can you find this resilient in the dictionary? Whether between these two guide words, or between these two guide words, or between these two guide words, or between these two guide words, you have to try to point out that one. And about this variety of question, I would like to give you elaborate explanation in the explanation video. Okay, and this is the first question. You move on to the next question. 42nd question: what is the correct phonetic transcription of the word genre? Please listen to the pronunciation of this word genre. Genre. Okay, now you choose the correct phonetic transcription. So genre, this is genre, this is gandra, this is genre. So out of these four options, you choose that one which gives the correct phonetic transcription of this genre. Okay. 43rd question: in the word inspiration, which syllable is stressed? Okay, and about the stress pattern, about the accent of the words, or the stress of the words, I have made a wonderful video. You please follow that video, and there will be no difficulty at all for you about this word stress. Okay, and here inspiration is there, so you have to find out the syllables that are there in this word. Inspiration. So now first syllable, second syllable, third syllable, fourth syllable. Which syllable receives the stress or the accent? So here he is giving you the options like this: first, second, third, fourth. Which syllable of this word receives the accent? That you have to choose. Okay, and you move on to the next question. 44th question: which of these words contains a diphthong? So about the diphthongs you know pretty well. Even then in the explanation video I am going to talk to you a little bit elaborately about these 8 diphthongs. What are the diphthongs? Okay, and here you just look at the words given: sit, day, fan, cat. So of these 4 options, which word has a diphthong if it is written in the phonetic transcription? Okay, and you just try to have the phonetic transcription of these words, and you can only find out in which word this diphthong lies, whether in sit, or day, or fan, or cat. Okay, and in the explanation video tomorrow, I'm going to tell you very clearly about this. 45th question: identify the correct stress pattern for the word development. Okay, development, that is the pronunciation of this word, development. Okay, development. Okay, and here this is the stressing word. So first stressed, this day, way, lap, meant. Whenever you want to give the stress to the word, you must cut the word into syllables. Development. So which one receives the stress? So this is zero. This is dark red means that is the first syllable. First syllable, and these are the unstressed syllables. Unstressed, stressed. Okay, unstressed, 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 stressed, 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 unstressed. So which of these four options is the correct one? Okay, you please, this is a variety of the question, because I have already told you that in the second question paper the questions will be a little bit difficult and confusing, because if you can face this kind of questions in your real examination, you don't have any problem at all. That is why I have given you this kind of questions. Okay, and here you go to the next question. Which literary device is used in the wind howled in the night? So the wind howled. Okay, howling means what? Oh, like that. That is called howling noise. So the wind howled. So here, what kind of literary device can you find in this line? Means here options are given like this: metaphor, alliteration, personification, hyperbole. So you know that very well, right? 47th question: which of the following is not a dramatic type? It's not a drama type. What is that? What are the options given here? Tragedy, farce, satire, elegy. Which of them is not a dramatic type? You can easily identify the correct answer. Okay, and you go to the next question, 48th question. A frame story is best defined. In the explanation video, I will tell you about this. A frame story. What is that frame story? Okay, a story with a moral. Is it a frame story? Yes, a story with multiple narrators, a story within a story told through a dialogue. So, which story is called a frame story? Okay, so that thing you are going to learn in the explanation video. But before that, you try to answer this question. That's very important, right? 49th question: which term refers to a recurring idea or theme in literature? So in literature, especially in dramas, some idea or some theme will be repeated at regular intervals or frequently in that drama. So what is that theme or what is that idea called in literature? So that's the question, and here some options are given. You pay attention to them: motif, chorus, irony, paradox. Okay, and you go to the next question, 50th question. The sun smiled at me is an example of what? Here are given some options: simile, metaphor, irony, personification. Very simple questions these are all. 51st question: identify the figure of speech. So some sentence is given here: he is a lion in the fight. So what kind of figure of speech can you find in that sentence? He is a lion in the fight. So here are given some options. You choose the right one from these options: simile, metaphor, hyperbole, apostrophe. And you go to the next question, 52nd question. The climax of a story refers to. Climax of a story, what do you mean by the climax of a story? So here are given some options: the beginning, the end, the highest point of tension, the exposition. Which is called the climax of a story? You know that very well. You can choose that one, right? 53rd question: which stanza form consists of four lines with alternate rhyme? With alternate line means these are the four lines. Alternate means A, here A, B, here B. Alternate line, one line after another line, that is called alternate rhyme. That means this, skips the second line and this rhymes with this rhymes with this. Okay, and you go to the options. What are the options given here? Couplet, tercet, quatrain, sestet. So you know the answer for this question, and you go to the next question, 54th question. Which is a type of character who does not change throughout the story? Okay, in the explanation video I am going to tell you all about the types of characters very briefly. Okay, a dynamic character is there, a flat character is there, round character, static character. So there are varieties of characters. I have also made a video on types of character, but nobody has watched it, unfortunately. Right now you are definitely going to watch this video. So dynamic, flat, round, static, these are all the types of characters. About these types of characters I am going to tell you in the explanation video. Right now you move on to other questions. 55th question. Which term refers to addressing an absent or imaginary person? So, what is that figure of speech that addresses an absent or some dead person or some imaginary person? What is that figure of speech? So, here are mentioned four figures of speech: oxymoron, irony, apostrophe, metonymy. 56th question. Identify the correct sentence. Okay, here are given some wrong sentences and one right sentence. So you have to choose the correct sentence or right sentence. So here you pay attention. She don't like pizza. He go to school daily. Neither of the boys have done their work. Each of the players is ready. So these are the four options. You choose the right one. 57th question. Which is the correct form? I am knowing the answer. I know the answer. I am know the answer. I knowing the answer. So you choose the right one. Why this is right and why the others are wrong. And in the explanation video, you can listen to me very clearly, right? And you go to the 58th question. If she had studied hard, she dash passed. About the conditional sentences, that means about the if clauses also, I am going to talk to you in the explanation video. Please watch that explanation video that is being exclusively made on the grammar and vocabulary. Okay, and here some four options are given. If she had studied hard, she will have passed, she would pass, she would pass it, she would have passed, she should pass. So which one is the right one? 59th question. Identify the sentence with a relative clause. So about the relative clauses also, I will try to give you some idea in the explanation video. And she was tired but happy. He went to the store. The man who called you is my cousin. She sings and dances. So you choose that sentence that contains the relative clause. Okay, and you go to the 60th question. Which sentence shows subject verb agreement? Okay, the verb must always agree with the subject. If the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. So about this subject verb agreement, I have made a wonderful video. If the time permits you, you please watch it. And here some sentences are given. You please look at these sentences and choose the right one. The dogs barks loudly. The cat and the dog is playing. The team is winning. Neither of them are correct. So these are the four sentences. 61st question. Choose the correctly punctuated sentence. So on punctuation, some sentences are given. So be careful and you please have a good idea about the use of the punctuation marks. Okay, and let us look at the options given. What a great day! What a great day! What a great day! What a great day! So here at the end, some exclamatory mark is given and full stop, comma, question mark. So in this way, you choose that sentence which is correctly what is it, punctuated, right? And 62nd question. Which sentence is in the passive voice? Okay, about this passive voice you know pretty well. And here are given four options. You choose that sentence which is in the passive voice. She writes a letter. A letter is written by her. She is writing a letter. She wrote a letter. So which sentence is in the passive voice? So about this passive voice also, I would like to give you some beautiful tricks and all that. So in the explanation video only I can do that. Okay, now you move on to other questions. 63rd question. Choose the correct question tag. So question tag, beautiful. So what is the question tag? So let us have a cup of tea, dash. What must be the question tag in this blank? Okay, let us look at the options. Shall we, shan't we, isn't it, have you? So that is there. You go to the 64th question. Identify the imperative sentence. About the imperative sentences, in the last video, I think I have given you some explanation, some idea. Okay, and in the explanation video, I will give again some more idea about these imperative sentences. And please identify the imperative sentence. She runs fast. Do your homework. Are you coming? I will leave soon. So these are the questions. Now you move on to other questions. 65th question. Which is an example of a complex sentence? He came and he saw. He came, he saw, he conquered. He came because he was invited. Come in. So here these are the four options. You choose that sentence which is in the complex pattern. And about the complex sentences also, I would like to give you some idea, right? And you go to the 66th question, choose the correct sentence. Some correct sentence is asking you to choose. Okay, this is the most easiest route. This is easier than that. This is more easy than that. This is most easier than that. Choose that sentence which is correct grammatically, which is. Now you move on to other questions. 67th question, identify the modal verb used to express ability. What is the modal verb which expresses ability? Should, must, can, would, right? 68th question, which sentence uses an article correctly? So on the use of articles, some sentence is given. She is an European. He is a MLA. He is an honest man. It is an unique idea. So these are the 4 questions and you choose the right one. Now you move on to other questions. 69th question, select the correct preposition. So on preposition, some question is given. He succeeded dash hard work. He succeeded dash hard work. So what are the options given here? See, he succeeded on hard work. He succeeded at hard work. He succeeded in hard work. He succeeded by hard work. So you choose the right option, right preposition in that. You go to the next question. Which sentence contains a noun clause? About the noun clauses also, I will give you some idea in the next video. And noun clause, I know what he said. She ran quickly. This is her bag. They are coming soon. So these are the 4 options. Now you move on to other questions. 71st question, choose the synonym of benevolent. So benevolent means what? Synonym is the same meaning of this: cruel, kind, lazy, sad, right? Go to the 72nd question. Choose the antonym of scarcity. Antonym means opposite word, right? And what are the options given here? Abundance, poverty, famine, need. So that is there. Now you move on to other questions. 73rd question, which is a correct set of homophones of pair, pair, homo, pair, pure, pair, poor, pair, peer. So these are all the. If you know the correct pronunciation of these words, you can easily identify the set of homonyms for this pair. Okay, pair, right? And you go to the next question. Which of the following is a one-word substitute for one-word substitute? A person who walks on foot. A person who walks on foot. And here you pay attention: cyclist, pedestrian, vagabond, nomad. So these are the options. Now you choose the right one. You move on to other questions. 75th question, what does the idiom spill the beans mean? Spill the beans. Okay, I think this idiom was given sometime back in your DSC examination also, right? And here these are the options: to eat quickly, to reveal a secret, to get angry, to waste food, right? You go to the next question. Choose the correct spelling. On spelling also, some question is set here. What is that? Occurrence. So if you can understand the pronunciation of that word, you can easily give the correct spelling of this word. Occurrence, right? 77th question. Identify the phrasal verb meaning to cancel. What is that phrasal verb that means to cancel? Call on, call up, call off, call in. Okay. You go to the 78th question. Choose the correct proverb. Some proverb is given, so you have to choose the correct proverb. So, look before you eat, look before you leap, look before you sleep, look before you cry. Right. You move on to other questions. 79th question. The suffix in childish shows. In this word, there is some suffix ish. Child plus ish, childish. So this is the suffix. So what does that suffix show? Right. And here are the options given: comparison, smallness, relation to a child, degree. Okay. 80th question. Identify the correct hyponym for furniture. Okay. About the hyponym and hypernym in the previous video, I think I have made very clear to you, right? Here you pay attention: plate, house, garden, chair. Okay. 81st question. Which abbreviation stands for that is? What is that abbreviation which stands for that is? EG. EG means exempli gratia, etc. You know very well. Id est, Viz means Vidal set. So which abbreviation stands for that is? Okay, you know that, you choose the right one and you go to the next question. The house is under construction. So now what is the question posed on this? Choose the collocation. Collocation is combination of two words. So here some options are given: under construction, construction, house, under. So here you can easily choose this. It's such a simple and easy and silly question actually. Okay, 83rd question. The word fragile is closest in meaning to large, weak, strong, tough. 84th question. What does the foreign phrase status quo mean? You know this very well. Very recently, I have uploaded a video on the foreign phrases and expressions: temporary situation, current situation, improved condition, final result. 85th question. Choose the abbreviation for Doctor of Philosophy. Doctor of Philosophy is called MD, PhD, DSC, MBBS. 86th question. Which sentence uses capitalization correctly? So here are given four options. My uncle is from Canada. So four types of sentences are given and you choose the correct one out of these four options. Okay. 87th question. In formal letter writing, which salutation is appropriate when the name is unknown? Dear sir or madam, hello, hey, respected brother, something like that. Okay. 88th question. What type of writing is a diary entry? What type of writing is that? Descriptive, formal, personal, narrative. 89th question. A biographical sketch should focus on events only, facts only, a person's life and achievements, fictional details. The last question of the first section of the question paper is 90th question. Choose the correct closing for an informal letter. What is the correct closing for informal, not formal, please remember? Yours faithfully, yours respectfully, yours lovingly, yours sincerely. Now you move on to the questions on content. Content. On content, some 30 questions I'm giving you here. Please answer all of them. Very quickly, I shall read out all of them. Okay. Here you pay attention. 91st question. In Where the Mind is Without Fear, what does the poet primarily seek for his country? Prosperity, religious freedom, freedom of thought and expression, industrial development. 92nd question. The cloud in Shelley's poem is portrayed as a messenger of doom, a bringer of death, a spirit of transformation, renewal, a passive observer of nature. 93rd question. According to Emerson, in the nation's strength, true strength lies in a strong army, economic power, the character of its people, scientific advancement. 94th question. In palanquin bearers, the bearers express sympathy for the bride, pride in their job, anger at exploitation, a mixture of joy and sorrow. 95th question. Frost's The Road Not Taken emphasizes what? Regret over wrong choices, the importance of following tradition, the unpredictability of life decisions, supernatural intervention. So these are the options. We move on to the next question. 96th question. In Wordsworth's A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, the mood shifts to hope, melancholy, rage, indifference. Okay. 97th question. Oli Soinkas telephone conversation criticizes urban chaos, racial prejudice, religious dogma, government corruption. Go to the next one. In the Night of the Scorpion, the mother's reaction to her suffering shows resentment, superstition, maternal sacrifice, blind faith. 99th question. Bacon's Off Studies suggests that reading makes men witty, men humble, men generous, men honest. 100th question. Emerson's self-reliance promotes group consensus, social norms, individualism, isolationism. 101st question. A.G. Gardner's On Shaking Hands humorously explores cultural manners, germophobia, political greetings, gender roles. 102nd question. In what makes a nation? C. Rajagopalachari emphasizes technology, geographical boundaries, shared values and ideals, political power. 103rd question. Animal Farm uses animals to satirize capitalism, British monarchy, Soviet communism, feudalism. 104th question. The character of Napoleon in Animal Farm is a representation of Karl Marx, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Leon Trotsky. 105th question. R.K. Narayan Swamy and Friends is set in Bangalore, Malgudi, Madras, Delhi. 106th question. The central theme of Swamy and Friends is poverty, political revolution, childhood and growing up, industrialization. 107th question. In 12th night, Viola disguises herself as Olivia, Fest, Cesario, Sebastian. 108th question. The comic subplot of 12th night involves political rebellion, a duel of magic, Malvolio's mistaken identity, Cesario's kidnapping. 109th question. Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest is a satire on science and technology, Victorian social conventions, romantic tragedy, political ideologies. 110th question. The double life of Jack Worthing symbolizes psychological trauma, hypocrisy in society, rebellion, fantasy. 111th question. In the bet, the lawyer's final decision proves the value of experience, that knowledge leads to disillusionment, the importance of money, the cruelty of prison. 112th question. The banker in the bet fears legal punishment, bankruptcy, religious judgment, social disgrace. 113th question. In Indian Trouble, the elephant symbolizes religious fervor, government support, unwanted responsibility, lost wealth. 114th question. The tone of Indian Trouble is tragic, ironic, sentimental, didactic. 115th question. In After 20 Years, the irony lies in the honesty of both friends, a police officer being the criminal, the twist of one friend arresting the other, both friends dying. 116th question. Jimmy Wells's actions reflect betrayal, loyalty to the law, cowardice, hypocrisy. 117th question. In The Thief by Ruskin Bond, the narrator learns that honesty pays, that love reforms, that theft brings success, that society is cruel. 118th question. The story The Thief is narrated in third person, second person, omniscient voice, first person. 119th question. In Off Studies, Bacon classifies books to be eaten, drunk or cooked, chewed and digested, shared and quoted, loved and lost. And the last question of this content part is 120th question. Emerson believes society conspires against love, freedom, the manhood of every one of its members, religious faith. Okay, with this, the questions on content are over, and now we are going to take up the questions on methodology. Methodology, Model Question Paper 2. 121st question. Which is an example of a formative assessment? Annual exam, weekly quiz, board examination, final project. So in the explanation video, I'm going to talk to you about this formative assessment and summative assessment. So very briefly, I would like to once again give you the concept of formative assessment and summative assessment. Don't worry about that. And in the meanwhile, you answer this question and you move on to the next question. 122nd question. The main focus of communicative language teaching is on, what is that? Syntax mastery, translation ability, real life communication, memorizing vocabulary. 123rd question. Listening skill improves best when learners take dictation, write essays, engage in listening to real conversations, speak in monologue. 124th question. The direct method excludes oral work, use of mother tongue, use of target language, speaking activities. You know this very well. 125th question. Teaching aids help in creating confusion, making teaching boring, enhancing understanding, replacing the teacher. 126th question. Phonetics is the study of, you know very well about this. What are the options given here? Word meanings, grammar rules, sounds of human speech, language origin. 127th question. Which skill is generally taught first in language learning? You know, we have L, S or W, but which skill will be taught to the children for the first time? So that you have to point out here. So writing, reading, listening, speaking. Which skill is going to be taught to the children for the first time? You know that and you tick it right. And you go to the next question. 128th question. Language structures are best learned through memorization, structural drills, picture reading, poetry reading. 129th question. Which approach is student-centered and activity-based? Grammar translation, structural approach, communicative approach, bilingual method. 130th question. The process of breaking curriculum into teachable units is called. What is that process of breaking curriculum into teachable units is called? Evaluation, syllabus framing, lesson planning, objective writing. 131st question. Which of the following is not a principle of teaching English? It is not a principle of teaching. What is that which is not a principle of teaching? Come on, you look at the options. Proceed from known to unknown. Emphasize memory over meaning. Proceed from simple to complex. Proceed from oral to written. 132nd question. Teaching material should be, always a question is being asked on this teaching materials. Please have an eagle's eye on this topic. Okay, what are the options given? Outdated, unrelated to context, relevant and contextual, difficult to understand. So you move on to other questions. 133rd question. The role of phonemic awareness is important in phonemic awareness. What is that phonemic awareness? Okay, that is important in grammar learning, listening comprehension, reading fluency, vocabulary expansion. 134th question. Minimal pairs are used to teach. About the minimal pairs, I think I have explained very briefly in my last video. Okay, again, if possible, I'll try to explain about these things in the explanation video. Sentence structure, grammar rules, pronunciation differences, vocabulary lists. 135th question. In a typical lesson plan, the final section should include materials used, introduction, follow-up or assessment, homework duration. 136th question. A textbook is a part of evaluation, teaching aids, curriculum, testing tools. 137th question. In remedial teaching, the goal is to speed up all learners equally, teach advanced grammar, help struggling learners catch up, test students repeatedly. 138th question. Pronunciation is most effectively taught using printed charts, audio and visual drills, grammar books, literary texts. 139th question. One major goal of teaching vocabulary is to memorize word lists, build dictionary skills, enhance comprehension and expression, write long essays. 140th question. Which of these is not a component of communicative competence? Grammatical competence, strategic competence, translation competence, discourse competence. 141st question. A good language teacher should focus only on grammar, avoid using teaching aids, adopt methods based on learner needs, punish wrong answers. 142nd question. The stress in phonetics refers to anxiety in speaking, intonation, emphasis on a syllable, the speed of speech. 143rd question. Lesson objective should be vague and general, measurable and clear, only for teachers, ignored in practice. 144th question. Which material is not suitable for language teaching? Flashcards, videos, grammar books, non-verbal music. 145th question. Which of the following is not a receptive language skill? So about the receptive language skills and productive language skills, you know very well. Therefore, you don't worry about this question and look at the options given. Listening, reading, writing, understanding. 146th question. The syllabus that focuses on themes and topics is structural syllabus, functional syllabus, situational syllabus, thematic syllabus. 147th question. Which technique promotes pair and group work? Lecture method, dictation, communicative method, grammar drills. 148th question. The importance of curriculum is that it confuses teachers, gives direction to teaching, restricts learning, replaces textbooks. 149th question. A diagnostic test is used to rank students, identify learning gaps, promote students, grade final exams. 150th question. Teaching English vocabulary through pictures is called audiolingual, semantic mapping, visual method, structural mapping. 151st question. Reading aloud helps improve pronunciation and influence, vocabulary only, silent reading speed, grammar. 152nd question. Which skill is generally considered the most difficult for learners? Listening, speaking, reading, writing. 153rd question. Role play helps develop grammar, vocabulary memorization, interactive speaking skills, writing format. 154th question. Assessment for learning is also called summative assessment, diagnostic test, formative assessment, end semester exam. 155th question. Grammar translation method relies heavily on real life communication, mother tongue use, dramatization, conversation practice. 156th question. The purpose of teaching phonetics is to improve reading speed, spelling accuracy, pronunciation and speech clarity, listening to lectures. 157th question. Peer correction is used to encourage competition, reduce teacher workload, promote learner responsibility, create fear in class. 158th question. Group activities are useful because they waste time, promote passive learning, develop communication and cooperation, cause discipline and problems. 159th question. Skimming is a reading technique used for, what is it used for? Reading every word, reading aloud, getting the general idea quickly, memorizing facts. The last question of this part is 160th question. An important feature of communicative task is grammar focused questions, meaningful interaction, written translation, dictation. With this, the questions on methodology will also come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now, let me give you the answers for all these questions. Come on, have a look at the answers for all these questions. These are the answers for the questions from 41 to 49. These are the answers for the questions from 50 to 59. These are the answers for the questions from 60 to 69. These are the answers for the questions from 70 to 79. These are the answers for the questions from 80 to 89. These are the answers for the questions from 90 to 99. These are the answers for the questions from 100 to 109. These are the answers for the questions from 110 to 119. These are the answers for the questions from 120 to 130. These are the answers for the questions from 131 to 140. These are the answers for the questions from 141 to 151. These are the answers for the questions from 152 to 160. So with this, this question paper will come to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I request all of you to solve these questions on your own. Don't try to look at the answers at the beginning only. Please try to check your comprehension of the topics you have learnt, of the English topics you have learnt. Take a piece of paper and start answering all the questions, okay, on your own. And you also set the time before you. So it will take just 2 hours of time. Total time is 2.5 hours of time, and half an hour for the first 40 questions. I think 2 hours time is meant for grammar and vocabulary, content and methodology. For these sections of questions, these 2 hours are set apart. Please set the time before you, and you must be able to answer all these questions within that stipulated time, even without you can say putting the time in front of you. If you just try to answer, and if you take more time and then say I have got these many marks, that's not meaningful at all. So that is why I request all of you to take a piece of paper and set the time in front of you, and then start answering all these questions. Then only your assessment will become authentic and perfect. So hope you follow my advice and you do accordingly. And thank you so much once again for watching this model question paper 2. Okay, in the tomorrow's class I'm going to give you the explanation video exclusively on grammar and vocabulary, and afterwards content and methodology. So in this way, 2 videos, because there are as many as 120 questions. To explain all of them, it will take definitely a lot of time. So you understand my problem. And moreover, last night actually this video is to be uploaded yesterday itself, but what happened, there was a big power outage in our LB Nagar and Vanasthalipuram area, and the power did not come even after midnight. So I had to wind up all this video making work. I had to start this work today in the morning, and this video is going to be uploaded in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Okay, and thank you. Hello, dear DSC candidates. Thank you very much for watching the model question paper 2. Please try to answer all these questions on your own, taking a piece of paper and setting the time before you. Okay, and I am also planning to upload 3 more question paper models, so that you can have some perfection, so that you can have some idea about the question paper pattern and the style of questions and all that paper. With the 3rd model question paper, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye, see you all of you.